Hello and welcome to our daily market review and analysis. Thank you for joining me. It is Monday after the US market close, and we are going to look at the scheduled currency pair, which is the British pound pair, along with other charts of interest as we normally do. So we will start off with the Dow Jones Industrial 30, and in addition to our review of this chart on a Friday last week, and also on the special recording that I sent out over the weekend, we could now see the expected retracement coming back in, but we do expect this retracement to be fairly mild. In other words, from the low of November we are counting 5 waves, and the first wave in parentheses Roman numeral 2 in parentheses, and then all of this is the part of a wave 3, which I think now is complete, and so we should now be looking for wave 4 retracement, which is what we think we are having. So maybe we would get a retracement back towards something like 14,300 14,200, basically with this minor uptrend channel holding the price, and we would then go in to form the fifth or the final leg up to complete this 5-wave sequence to the upside. So broadly speaking, over the next few days it looks like we are currently retracing, so we would expect the price to continue making its lower low and lower high and form a sort of ABC pattern as a part of a general retracement. So from here it looks like we've got a fairly strong wave 1 down. The strong wave 1 down, which is this 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 possibly. We are retracing in A, B and C back up. So maybe that could complete fairly soon after that, and we would then have a second leg down, which would bring us into the vicinity of this rising trend line of the inclined channel. So that's basically would complete. Once we've done that, that would complete wave 4 down, and we'll be then looking for, as I said, the fifth and final wave to the upside. So Dow Jones Industrial most likely coming down over the next few days, maybe whole of the week kind of affair. Similarly, we look at the oil, and in the oil the price have gone up quite a bit, and it looks like we've actually formed wave A, wave B and wave C maybe. And on the oil we need to keep 2 particular options open, which one of them will be ruled out the moment we get certain confirmation on the price. For example, in this area here, either we have what we call this pink label, which is wave A, wave B, wave C, wave D, and we'll come back here to form a next leg down to form a wave E, by which time this contracting triangle will be finished and we would then make a new leg to the upside. Or as an alternate would be is that we still have this wave A, wave B, wave C, but instead of going all the way to here with a red declining line, we may have this one here. So B, C, D and E here. So we'll have maybe this one, if I just make it thicker now, maybe that one playing as a potential triangle. So if that is the case, then our wave E finishes here, in which case subsequent bounce we've had here from back end of October, early November might actually be, as you can just about see, possibly wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4 and currently progressing into wave 5. Now if that is the case, then we would go through this red line, we make a slightly higher high as a wave 5, we'll then get an ABC retracement back down here, and then we'll continue higher. So we will soon find out whether the contracting triangle ends with this low here, which is the November low, or are we forming the new contracting triangle wave E by this leg coming down here to around about 81. And once we have that confirmation, then we can project where the overall likely price target is going to be. So just to summarize then, that if we do have this contracting triangle finishing here, then from finishing using this blue declining trend line, then we may have this one as wave 1, ABC as wave 2, wave 3, ABC back down as wave 4. We are now in wave 5, and in which case this might be wave 1, this might be wave 2, and in which case we should see prices speeding up a little bit. But if not, then we will fail at this approaching this red trend line, and we'll get another leg down. So we'll have to monitor which way the oil is going, but at the moment we are a little bit uncertain whether indeed we have another leg down or whether we are going to continue higher. So oil currently neutral until we break either above this declining trend line or we start making a new strong leg to the downside. Oil will probably be neutral, with the equity looking weak and would continue declining as it develop that second leg down, and of course the oil can join too, but at the moment oil is a little bit unclear, so it's more neutral. So during that time we also confirmed from our analysis that the dollar index and the equity market were going together. However, it looks like now we may be parting company. If we've got, for example, the equity market coming down and the dollar index has actually gone up, so we may be almost about to untangle. And just to review the wave count here again, is that we've had okay, so this green trend line is currently sketching out the general progression of the 5 wave to the upside that we have been looking for as a part of this flat correction, where we got A, B, C as a zigzag, then we go to wave B as an ABC zigzag, and therefore we are expecting 5 wave to the upside. So in that 5 wave to the upside, what we have here is we have a wave 1 up, then retracement wave 2, then from there I have continued to look at how to label this one, and over the weekend I think what we probably the best scenario would be is that we've got minor 1, minor 2, minor 3, A, B, C as an expanded flat, so minor 4, and then from here we've got all these overlapping waves up to there. I think what it is a wave 5, and it's got like a converging line. So we got 1, for example 1, A, B, C down as a wave 2, wave 3, wave 4, and wave 5. So that completed this wave 3, and then we have this like a sideways flat correction where we got A, B, and C to give us wave 4. So since then, from today in fact, we have started to make up this wave 5. Now where you have an extended wave 3, the Elliott wave also says that we might get wave 5 equal to the size of a wave 1. So if that happens, for example, then you can see that is projecting to somewhere about 83.75. So really 83.5 to 83.75 is a potential upside target for this wave 5. Now when we look at this wave 5, in a smaller time frame, from here for example, you can see we have possibly, depend where you start counting, but say you start counting from here, so you got possibly 1 and 2, maybe 3, currently retracing 4 and 5, or if you start from here, then well, still the same. So we go wave 1, wave 2, then you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is the wave 3, A, B, C back here to wave 4, then one final up. So we've got that, and that would complete the 5 wave up. But when you look at it overall, that wave so far would be relatively too small compared with overall direction. So otherwise, if this wave holds, then basically we would barely manage, now that this is already a wave 4, we would barely manage to maybe retest this high here. So what I think we have to consider is a possibility that this last wave 5 rather, will have a clear 5 wave sequence also. So the only way we can do that is we might get some kind of possibly an ending diagonal. Okay, so we might finish up with this one, something like that, like an ending diagonal. So what that ending diagonal will do is that we've got wave 1 for example nearly done, then within that we will get wave 2 down. Let me change the color of that one. 2 down, and then we'll get another leg up, 4, come back, something like that. Okay, so as it approaches 83.50 to 83.75, we might get something like this developing. So it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, and then it is ready for coming down, and in that 5 is possible for it to get that kind of distance there. So this might look a little bit more like that, okay, on a 4-hour chart. Okay, something like that. So then we would be ready for that, for a dollar index to top out. So at the moment the dollar index is pushing higher, but the equity is pulling back, and I think that's probably a beginning of the normal relation being restored, where if the dollar index is heading up, we would expect equity market to be coming down. So here dollar index is now forming its final leg up, or we might find equity market continue to decline to complete its wave 4, and then the dollar index will start moving down and the equity will start going up. So I think this is probably what's happening, and this will probably reflect also on the US dollar currency pairs. So we will come back to that in a moment, but we'll start off with the other currency pairs of the British pound. So the first one, British pound, we're looking at is the euro pound. Now in the euro pound, as you know, we've been tracing this 5 wave out to the top, where we got wave 3 here at the top. It's a larger wave 3. So we got, for example, wave 1 here, which is a 5 wave 1 up to there, wave 2, then we got 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 to give us wave 3 in double bracket, and we are retracing for wave 4, and in that we've got wave 1, or rather A, B, and we're coming down in for wave C. So we should see this particular wave complete in the region of this area we identified, which is approximately 50% retracement of the entire move, which comes in at 84.50, or it could go down a bit more, maybe like 84, And if you look at it, then we've got wave A, ABC back as a wave B, and we are coming down in a wave C. And in a wave C, possibly you could think that this might look like wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4, and wave 5 possibly, in which case that could be like wave 1 overall, so minor 5 waves, wave 1, ABC retracement wave 2, then we got ABC coming down as wave 3, we'll get a retracement wave 4, and then one final leg down. So basically we'll finish up with this falling wedge pattern, where once it's complete we would then see euro begin to rally again. And I think this will line up with euro bottoming out against the dollar. So for the time being, the euro will continue to weaken against most currencies, even including against the pound, okay, because this is what it is trying to retrace into wave 4. So I expect maybe a bottom to be formed around 84.50 to maybe 84 area, where we could potentially look to go long. We will come back into this rising baseline as a potential support, and also 50% retracement of this last leg up comes into that kind of area. And if you did a Fibonacci of the whole leg, then it comes into something like 33%. But for the time being, we are actually just correcting this wave here. If in fact, if I put it where I should do, which is over here, then you can see the retracement will be coming into 50%. Okay, so I'll leave this one there for the time being, but we're looking for 50% retracement of that leg up, which is 84.50 to 84 area. And we will also begin to see divergence on the RSI to confirm that the downward momentum is now being gradually diminished. So euro pound will continue down. We look at the pound Swissy, and in a pound Swissy we got ABC retracement, so we probably got a bit more upside, and most likely it might continue until you get to something like 145, and then that would be ready for shorting if you were inclined to trade pound Swiss currency. The next one is pound Canada. Now, just like the other one, pound Canada has been very messy, like the pound Canada you expect. However, I think it has bottomed. Interestingly, the news item that I read, where Citibank is actually suggesting their clients to short the pound Canada, expecting this pound Canada to drop all the way down. But I think that might not be correct, because if you look at the 4-hour chart, then you can see that we have a divergence in the sense of RSI almost equal with a low, quite lower low. We have divergence also on the daily, you can see there. So I think the low has been formed, and whilst it's difficult to make a clear count, but you can see that this here is wave 1, this is probably wave 2, and then maybe if you look at this one, a strong wave up as a wave 3, then we got ABC as a 4, and then we have like a rising wedge pattern with 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 kind of a pattern. So it's not clear, it's not clean, but I think we've probably got the first wave up. Now if that is correct, then we have ABC retracement is what we're expecting. So in the ABC retracement, we've done wave A down, we're currently retracing to wave B, and we should come down with the next leg down. So potentially I think we could be looking for a long entry around 154 eventually, We've been waiting for this, and actually it's taken such a long time due to pound becoming extremely weak. But I think that this ABC down would form a potential long entry to go up. Even if it did simply this wave A, wave B and wave C, and then it start collapsing, even if it did that, we could potentially look to go long at 154. We might do AB equals CD, so there will be, you know, something in the region of over 300 pips plus potential. But longer term, I think this actually will develop into, you know, a proper full uptrend. But we will take one thing at a time, and that is allow this one to complete ABC correction. We'll look for confirmation, and we'll probably be able to go long, rather than what Citibank said is Citibank wants to put a stop over the, you know, stop above the top here, go short here, and they're targeting this one or even lower. So I don't think that's going to happen, quite frankly. But nevertheless, our analysis indicate that we are actually waiting. So what happens in here will actually also confirm, you know, if we're simply getting ABC pullback, it will confirm that we are likely to find a bottom in this area and then go up. Okay, and eventually we may still get a kind of left shoulder ahead and a right shoulder. The right shoulder might be somewhat different, or we might see ABC down, then we get wave 1 up, then we see ABC retracement for wave 2, and then we start going up. So we might still see quite a bit of sideways movement as it begins to build the base for the next leg up. Okay, so that is the pound Canada. Likewise, I think the pound New Zealand, last time when we looked at this, we assumed or worked out that this is the bottom. Just have a quick glance. So we've come down in ABC here, then we had this ABC up, like a congestion sideway. So this one, ABC could give us a larger A, ABC give a larger B, and then going up there to wave C, and therefore this ABC gave us wave A double bracket, wave B double bracket, and we're working on a wave C double bracket. That I think is complete over here, because you can see this parallel trend line going in now contain the price action of the decline, but we are now gone outside that. So I think we do have a bottom here. This is quite impulsive wave 1. Then I think what we've got is we've got this very choppy sideways movement as a wave A, and possibly we've had A, B, C as a B, and we are now currently working in a wave C. And wave C, you can see, is almost like a falling wedge, just like the Euro pound we looked at, where we got potential falling wedge. This one got wave A, wave B, wave C, wave D, and we're just looking for that final leg now to complete this decline. Okay, and then we could consider going up. So if we get this one anywhere around here, around 181 or a little bit lower, then potentially we can enter with about 140, 150 pip stop. If you put it beyond this one, if you put it just here, then of course it will be about 100. But I think we may be looking for initial stop loss of about 130 pip or so, and then our initial target will be go back and retest this high. So that's about 350. So that's 1 to 2 ratio. But most likely, I think we will get a new leg developing. It is built a base and it's almost coming back down, and it may look like it's got tripled bottom. And if you draw this trend line, you can see where it might come if it came and retest the trend line. Now potentially we are looking for rising higher high and higher low. Okay, so if it didn't do that in terms of it does a higher lows, then on the next leg up we might get higher highs. See, this one is fractionally higher than this one. When this one goes up there, we'll get a fractionally higher also. So the next leg I think could be quite strong. It will be wave 3 if this one is wave 1 A, B and C, then this becomes wave 2, and essentially we are ready for wave 3. So I would continue to put this under strong watch and monitor, and we're looking for 180. I think 181 is probably the minimum, but ideally somewhere about 180.50 area, 1.805. That would be brilliant, because then our stop can be just over 100 pip away. Okay, so pound New Zealand will shape up. I think most of these will probably develop by end of the week. I feel that by end of the week we will be at a turning point of many of these markets, and they will be looking to start developing new trend. Pound Aussie, just like pound New Zealand, has come down, and it looks like some kind of a falling wedge as the A, B, C, D, E. I think we again on this one have a bottom in place, and it's a very strange looking wave. I think what it is this one as a wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4 and wave 5. So it looks like a very ugly looking rising wedge. So if that is a rising wedge and that becomes wave 1, then potentially we have wave 1 over here, in fact over here. Okay, so then we have A, B, C to give us the wave A, and then again we have A, B, C as the wave B, and we are now coming back into form of wave C, in which case we've got 1, 2, 3 possibly, and I think we might also, I'm just beginning to look, we might get a falling wedge also in this one. So we'll have wave 1, wave 2, wave 3. So what we now need to complete this, we need another leg slightly higher, and then final leg down. Like so. And then we will be looking for going long on this one. So this 2 would be wave 2, and we will be starting over the wave 3. Okay, so pound Aussie will line up. It will line up a little bit lower down than we were previously thinking, and all of this sideways has taken a lot of time, but I think we are there, we're getting there. We need to monitor this, and most likely I think by end of this week or very early next week we should have a trigger for possibly entering long position on pound New Zealand, pound Aussie, and probably same with the pound Canada. Okay, so that would suggest that at the moment the pound is relatively weaker compared with New Zealand, Aussie and Canada. So let's take a look at the pound, see exactly what pound is doing. So this is pound against the dollar, and after having declined for a period from beginning of this year right up till here, until the low was formed at 12th of March, and I think that actually completed the entire leg down. Personally, I think so. So if that is the case, then from the low we've got 5 wave up. We've got wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4 and wave 5 with a rising wedge. So if this was a 5 wave up, then we would look for ABC down, wouldn't we? So what I think what we need to look for now, and again today you can see some kind of major massive giant wicks in comparison to the actual body. See, actual body is just there and there. This is on an hourly chart, but that 1 hour it had a fairly large wick at the top and a massive wick at the bottom. Okay, but if you can imagine that from the high, that was wave A, wave B, and we are now going to be coming back in a wave C. Okay, so we are going to be coming back like that, and generally it comes back to the previous wave 4. So this is the wave 4. So we're looking for possibly 150 to maybe 150. I say 151 as a minimum. That was an area where previously there was a fair amount of support here, became resistance, went through, so we could come back into the area and probably find support, and we will be then looking for next leg higher. If we went next leg higher, then you might get AB equals CD, so we'll be looking for something like 155, 156 probably, but I think we may actually get a new uptrend going from here, contrary to everybody's belief. I think, broadly speaking, I think we have seen the decline we were looking for. This in this broadly declining, let me show you on the weekly chart. So we were looking for this bottom here, which previously we started looking for a little bit early and price carried on going down, but now you can see that we've got potentially divergence on the RSI, not on the weekly but definitely on the daily. We have a clear divergence on the daily. We have 5-wave move of the bottom, so the minimum we would be looking for is for the price to come to somewhere in this area here, 155, 156. But if we are in a new uptrend, then we've done wave 1, we come down here for wave 2, and we'll be going up in a wave 3. That's what I think is likely to happen. So that would suggest that while this is retracing, the pound Canada, pound New Zealand and pound Aussie will continue to also show that the pound is weak. But once we bottom out on this one, then the pound will start rallying against the dollar, and I think it will start rallying against New Zealand and Canada and Aussie dollar. So pound will have its days. It is be waiting for retracement, and will be looking for a long entry if you want to trade the pound dollar, or certainly pound Aussie, New Zealand and Canada would be one of them, would be a right candidate for you to enter long using the relative strength of pound against other currency pairs. So that's pound. Then we look at the Canada. On the Canada, just like the dollar index, I think we've had this W, X and Y to give us the larger wave A, ABC back as a wave B, and we are now also looking for 5-wave to the upside. And in that 5-wave to the upside, we've got wave 1, wave 2, this here is wave 3, and currently retracing wave 4, which I think is finished. So really now we would expect pound Canada to start running up, and pound Canada potentially I think is the long entry. We could go to something like 150 points. If it came up to here, for example, then that's about 150 points, but it could go up a little bit higher. So potentially, if you were looking to trade pound Canada to the upside, then whilst the dollar is still continuing higher, we do have an area where we could potentially enter long trade. We have come back into the vicinity of this rising trend line, the base trend line of the rising channel. We've done here, for example, from here we've done wave A, wave B, and then wave C, and wave C got like an expanding triangle with 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 almost done. So really speaking, if you were to put a short-term trend line like that, then basically the break of that trend line to the upside on this 4-hour or hourly chart would be a signal that you could enter long with a stop just below. So you'll have about 30 or 40 pip stop, and we are looking to target this one from here, at least retesting the high, and that's about 125 point, but maybe a little bit higher, so minimum 150 to perhaps even 200 points on dollar Canada. And dollar Canada will top out when we find dollar index tops out, and I think that could all happen this week. And then we come to the euro. So in the euro, over the weekend when I did this special recording, you saw me analyzing this overlaid chart, and in this overlaid chart we were saying this one here, this is the dollar index, so this one here was the wave 4 and we're going up in a wave 5. Now wave 5 is not finished yet, so it could go up to something like, on the dollar index could go up to about 83.50 to 84 area, and during the same time, and purely based on that, the wave count on the euro has been somewhat difficult. So, and of course difficult on the dollar, but then the dollar I nearly worked it out. So based on that, I suggested that today we should see a decline. However, the decline that we've had is almost like 200 pips, and I didn't really expect 200 pip, because recently the average daily true range is about 110 to 120. So I didn't expect 200 pip, but it really did a sell-off. So if we just now try and get a grips with this and say this one here was ABC to give us a larger W, then we had this running flat is A, B and C to give us wave X. Then after that we had A, B and C, and this C is a falling wedge to give us a larger wave W, wave Y. And again we had A, B and C to give us X. So now basically we are trying to form this wave C, and in the wave C we've got X here, wave A, wave B and wave C. Now what remains to be seen is that this here, does it look like of A, B and C because of that big gap opening the last weekend, not yesterday but the weekend before? Is we've got, is that ABC, or is it 1, 2, this gap 3, 4 and 5? My belief is that we are in this 5 wave to the downside. Is 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. That's what I think it is. So if that's the case, then this becomes the wave A with the 5 waves, ABC back as a wave B. Now we are expecting 5 wave to the downside. So how are we going to find 5 wave to the downside? Okay, 5 wave to the downside. So let me take you to the euro chart. This is the euro chart. So how are we going to expect 5 wave to the downside? Right, so I think what we're going to have possibly is that we are going to get like a falling wedge pattern developing. I think that's what we're going to get, and that could take the euro to at least below 128. So if anybody shorted that, I'm sure you would have made good money, as I was expecting. I mean, there was a bit of a false break to the upside, so that might have sort of frightened everybody to some extent. Nevertheless, I was expecting that ABC completion and a leg down, possibly to 128.50. It came down to 128, and I was suggesting 128 as a bottom possibly, or maybe even lower. So we're going to get like a falling wedge. So we had this wave A, wave B, and in a falling wedge we've almost got 5 wave, not completely done. We've got, for example, wave 1 down, wave 2 up. Let's check that one. Yeah, 1 down, 2 up, wave 3, A, B and C, 4 and 5. So this is what we're going to get. We're going to get this one is going to be this wave 2 was a straight ABC, so this will be complex. It could turn out to be kind of a triangle, potentially like A, B, C, D, E, kind of a triangle, or simply A, B and C and then next leg down. Okay, so we could finish up with the wave 5 finishing here, or we might get, as I was saying, like a triangle. like falling wedge. Okay, so in the falling wedge, what happens is we get ABC as wave 1, ABC back as the wave 2, ABC down as wave 3, etc. Okay, so we might then finish up with, for example, getting this leg back up. Let me change the color of that to red. So we might finish up with that. So we've had wave 1, wave 2, and then we get wave 3 like so, wave 4, and wave 5. So that depends on what the dollar index does. Based on the dollar index, that I'm expecting possibly a bit more time for it to reach 83.50 or 84. It might develop into a rising wedge. Then we'll get something similar in terms of a falling wedge on the euro, and euro could well go to 27.50 or so. You see, 27.50 or so. So euro could come down to over here, 27.75 in fact. So which is, see this low here, we could come into that low, 27.80. I think we didn't come as far as 27.80, did we? No, we haven't. I think the lowest low has been what we just had here, which is 28.25 somewhere. So we could see 27.80 to maybe 27.80, which comes in with that low, or it could drop all the way to 126.60 approximately. But we should get a bottom forming in that area. Okay, and I think it's going to take a whole week, because today's decline was very fast. So what's going to happen now is going to be more choppy and sideways movement, and not as clear as the move we had so far. So once we finish that, then longer term, you know what I've been saying is that we will get this ABC, which starting off from here is we will get, like, from low of July, we'll get W, X, Y, X, Z. So you get W, X, Y, X, Z. Okay, but the other alternative is that we have this ABC, X, and we get another ABC. So here we get ABC, currently X, then we get another ABC to the upside. My feeling is that we would get this ABC to the upside. That's what I'm leaning towards. But one thing at a time is to first of all get a bottom, and once we got a bottom on euro, then potentially we are ready for euro to start taking off and the dollar to begin a downtrend. And when we get a bottom on euro, we will also have a bottom in currency pairs across for things like euro Canada, euro pound, euro Canada, euro Canada, euro pound, euro Aussie, and euro New Zealand will all bottom out at the same time and will start making a run to the upside. Okay, the only other currency which we haven't looked at, and I just remembered, is in fact pound yen. Okay, now in the pound yen, from the low here we have wave 1, wave 2, and then all of this was the part of a wave 3. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So give us 1 in bracket, 2 in bracket, 3 in bracket, 4 in bracket, and 5 in bracket. So that finished a wave 3. So you go wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, and we've had a wave A down, wave B up, and we are looking for wave C retracement to give us wave 4, and then we will be looking possibly to enter long trade if you want to trade pound yen. So we need this one to drop to probably ideally around 137.75 or 139 somewhere. We may even have this looking like a triangle, possibly like so, and if that's the case, then we would see this one fall to 129, 139. 139, yeah, 139 is a little bit low, so maybe about 140 we could see this leg down to 140, and then it will be, so whilst the pound is weakening or retracing its move against the dollar, it will probably do the same with yen, and then pound will start going up and it will start gaining against the yen also. Okay, most of the yen pairs are in currently wave 4 retracement and are likely to then go up to complete the fifth wave to the upside, after which we will have quite a significant retracement on the yen. So for the time being, a bit more further weakness on the pound, and then pound could be forming a triangle. In fact, most of the others are also forming a triangle, and then they'll probably be making the next leg to the upside. Okay, so those are all the currency pairs we were going to go through, and I hope that this analysis helps you in identifying which way we are going, so you're not caught on the wrong side. However, one thing to watch out for is, are we simply going to get 5 wave up, which simply on a dollar just retest the last high, or are we going to get a full 5 wave, you know, like a rising wedge? And I'm currently favoring that, and in which case we would get a falling wedge on the euro. Okay, and Canadian has some way to go, so all of that putting together, the US dollar will probably top out around 83.50, or maybe might even go up to 84. 83.50 I think is my preferred level. And then of course some of the other major trend will start, you know, both in euro and pound, and the one that we've been stoking for a long entry for quite some time, I think that's going to materialize fairly soon. Okay, also when we top out here on the dollar index, from the recording that I sent out over the weekend, you will note that once we top out, my perception is that we will develop a new downtrend. So this will take a little bit longer, maybe rest of the week to find out, and we'll get some further clues, and we'll start getting more clearer picture. Because if that then tops and it goes into new downtrend, then that new downtrend, whilst it will have, you know, usual corrections along the way, it will last for several months, and we should be able to capitalize on that, and we should be able to have several pairs which will start trending, and basically that's what we've been looking for. Okay, so as usual, any question or comment, please let me know. If there's anything I've missed or you want me to clarify, I'd be more than happy to take that into account in our next session tomorrow, and tomorrow we'll be going through all the euro pairs. So in the meantime, thank you for joining me, and wish you all well and successful trading.